Hello, good morning, good evening, whatever time it is when you're watching this. I'd like to introduce myself. I am Mr. Deleuze. Welcome to the virtual Meet the Teacher session. I am going to, over the next few minutes, just talk about the Year 3 class, the Atanuki class, what it involves being in Year 3, some of the key details that you'll need to know. I'm sure most of you who are watching this are already really aware of how it works at John Burns. A lot of the routines and procedures that we've got here. But if not, there might be some new information. There will be some new information about Year 3 specifically, and for those that are new to the class, some new information overall. So I'll try and be as clear as possible so everyone understands what is going on. Okay, so you might have to excuse me. Technology is letting me down a little bit at the minute. Perfect. Let me downsize myself. Maybe I'll make myself a little bit bigger just so you can put a face to a name. Like I said, I'm Mr. Deleuze. I'm going to shrink myself so we can all see what's going on. Okay, so the aim of this session, I will introduce the adults that are going to be in the classroom day to day throughout the year, the name of the class, a little bit about the author, some of the books that the children will be able to read, hopefully if we get a few more of the books in from this author, what the classroom looks like, routines specifically as well around PE, homework, home reading expectations. That's really important. I've spoken to the class already about that. So hopefully that message has got back to you. If not, that's kind of what I'm here for. Behaviour is something we will talk about. Again, if you are aware of how it works at John Burns, there should be no surprises there. What our curriculum is going to look like for this term and this year, assemblies, and if you've got any questions, because like I said, I know this is an unusual situation. I know it's unusual to be watching a video rather than being in the school, but we'll make the best of it. Okay, so Mr. Deleuze, that's me, class teacher, slightly older photograph here. And the teaching assistant is Mrs. Porter. She will be doing everything around the classroom, helping me out. She'll be working with some of the children to make sure that work is of the best possible caliber. Yeah, so that's just a couple more faces for names. I'm sure when the children go home, they will mention me, they will mention Mrs. Porter, and we're both very much in the know. Mrs. Porter's been at school for a very long time, I'm sure. Like I said, some of you are familiar with her. Okay, so our class name is Atanuki. This is a recent name change. We are named after a Nigerian Welsh author called Atanuki. She is a storyteller. She is quite inspired by sort of Nigerian culture and her Nigerian tribe. The idea of storytelling. She tells a lot of stories about young children in Africa, a lot of stories about Africa. So I think this is a really good opportunity for the children to, if they're not familiar with Africa, Nigeria, and those neighboring countries, to be more familiar through fiction. And if they have some sort of links to Africa, if they've got family, friends, if they've ever been, this should be a really good learning opportunity, which should really enrich their identity. She's a really, really good author. And we've got some books that sort of cover quite a lot of age ranges. So all children should be able to find a book by this author that will inspire them and hopefully will really encourage them to read. So a really, really inspiring author there. Okay, so this is the classroom. I've provided here a photograph of the classroom with nobody in it. This is just a layout of how the classroom will look, sort of morning and evening time. And on the left, we have got the classroom with full of life, full of everyone enjoying themselves. This is mid-lesson during a talking opportunity for them to share some ideas. Looking around, we have got the start of an English display going on in the background on the yellow board. We are currently reading UGG, Boy Genius of the Stone Age. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. And behind there we have got the maths display board. They are not really display boards, they're more working walls. They are very active, they're for the children to engage in. They have got all of the relevant information that we are going through. So it's not one of those where it's just going to be in the background. This is something that the children are going to be interacting with every day. The maths working wall is all about place value, which is going to be our first focus this year. Recognizing number, a great start, especially after the gap we've had with COVID. At the bottom, I've also included there our topic wall, which is building quite nicely. That will be filled with a bit more work and a few more bits of information as it progresses. We've got a really vibrant reading corner in the bottom left of that bottom photo, which is full of books. We are really promoting reading this year. It's a really good place for the children to reflect. It's sort of a reflection corner as well as a reading corner. And even with classroom changes, we are still encouraging children to read, find that spot in the classroom to chill out and relax and read. And final display I'll talk about there is the science display. It's on rocks and soils. So as you can see, that's kind of a diagram of different layers of soil with rock information and keywords down the side. I'm sure you have noticed that there is a new seating layout. We are having all children separated, but facing forward. We're not going to have table groups. And this is how it's going to be for the foreseeable future. Okay. Again, any questions? I'll come to that at the end. There is channels for you if any questions come up, if you've written something down, or if something just comes to you, you can definitely get in touch with the school. Okay, classroom routines. School starts at 9:30. I'm sure by now you are aware of that. Children are usually being dropped off about 25 past or 20 past to be in the school for 25 past for a 9:30 start. I've got a hand washing process that needs to be done in the morning. So the sooner children can be in, the sooner they can start their learning and the most learning we can get out of the day. Most children are finishing at 3:30. It is very, very rare circumstances that children will be leaving earlier than that. So it's a 9:30 till 3:30 finish to the day. And really important, PE is on a Friday. So children need to make sure that they are bringing a full PE kit, depending on what is happening that day. As we get close to the colder months, then the children are going to need to be kept warm. So they need to make sure that they've got their full PE kit, everything that they could possibly need that has been fed back to you. So that is pumps, that is shirts, that is shorts, possibly a jumper. Okay, homework goes out every Friday. There are two sets of homework. There is the I was going to say green homework book, but they're both green. There is the green topic homework book, which has a topic menu in it and the spellings. And there is the maths homework book. The green topic homework book, like I said, has a menu in it. I'm sure most people are aware of it by now, but for those that are not, there are 10 options of homework that can be done. There needs to be at least one done a week. Sometimes, especially if we have a slightly shorter half term, children choose to do more than one. And I always love reading more than one piece of homework. It shows quite a lot of enthusiasm, quite a lot of ambition. It shows that they're taking responsibility for their learning. But again, I know that everyone is quite busy, and so if a child does one, that is fine, but it does need to be of the best of their ability. Spellings will be in the back of the homework book. Spellings are related to our Year 3 Key Stage 2 spelling targets for the year. They are highlighted in the national curriculum. I have spoken to parents before. It is always a good idea to write down the spellings for the week on a piece of paper, type them up on a computer, make sure they are stored, because the deadline for homework to be handed in is Wednesday morning. There will be a box in the classroom, children are aware of this, where they can place their homework books. At the moment, they are being reminded, but as we go through the year, as we are no longer in infants and we're now in junior school, it is definitely the children's responsibility to remember to pop that in the green homework box. I'm not going to be chasing children as we go through the year, but for the time being, they are getting reminders. So if you want to remind children on Wednesday morning, definitely take your homework book out of your bag and pop it into the homework box. That would be good. Maths, again, a maths activity will be related to the week's learning as we sort of develop. It's been such a long break. There's quite a lot of finding our range sort of thing with what the children are comfortable with. They've not been in school for a really long time. So maths homework will get more and more specific, more and more challenging. But it's good again for them to do something at home. And if you want to help them, that is fine, but it should be the children's own work. Yes. If there are any problems with the homework, you can always speak to me, or you can speak to Mrs. Porter if she's in the playground. Children can always speak to me as well. It goes without saying, obviously, that if a child says to me on Friday morning, oh, I had a problem with my homework, or I forgot to give it you on Wednesday, or things like that, then that's going to be harder to digest than if it's told on Monday, Tuesday, or even Wednesday, because then we can do something about it. We can fix things. Okay. Behaviour. Behaviour is really, really important in John Burns. I'm sure we're all aware of Good to be Green. That is an opportunity for children to show off that they have, excuse me, itchy mustache, show off how well they behaved over the half term and term. In John Burns, we work with a traffic light system. I will talk about that in a moment in the red and yellow cards. But staying on green is the expectation and it is the status quo. If the child, I'll go into that in a moment, does end up on a yellow or a red card, then they will no longer be green, and that there goes their opportunity of a reward in the form of they're wearing their own clothes and the certificate, and depending on how things progress this year, the opportunity to stand in front of their peers at an assembly and everyone to give them a big clap and say, well done for how focused and how well you've behaved. So, yeah, so we are really promoting It's Good to be Green. If there are any issues within the classroom, which I'll talk about now, then children will end up on a red or a yellow card. Let me get that right. So, if there are low-level disruptions, children will usually get a warning. At the minute, children will get a couple of warnings, but as we progress, obviously, children will get back into the spirit of the school and will know what the expectations are. So, for example, things like talking when they should be working, distracting others, low-level disruptions of just being a little bit silly, will end up with them being on a yellow card. If that progresses further, and they have to have a couple more reminders, then they will end up on a red card. A red card means that I will definitely be speaking to you about what the child has done, and hopefully there can be some sort of consistency in sanctions. There can be full disclosure so that everyone is in the loop of any issues that are arising in the classroom with your child. There was one more thing I wanted to say about that. Oh yes, that it might not necessarily be a case that a child progresses from yellow to red. Sometimes with more serious incidents where we're talking sort of unkind comments, or if we're talking about very, very rude behavior, a child might just go straight to red. And again, you will be told. Okay. Our curriculum this year is we focus on a 3 P's curriculum. That is our person, place, and point. Our person this year is the Cheddar Man, and our point is 3180 BC, and our place is Stonehenge. We are focusing on the Stone Age, the Iron Age, and the Bronze Age. I should probably get those in order: the Stone Age, the Bronze Age, and the Iron Age. And it's called Ages Ago. So the Cheddar Man was quite an important, influential figure found in the southwest of England around Cheddar. He is evidence of some of the earliest man and tells us a lot about him. We're going to do a little bit of a fact file on him. We're going to find out a little bit more about him. We're going to relate him to sort of ourselves and what does he represent in us, and are there any differences and similarities? Stonehenge. Stonehenge is, as I'm sure you're aware, is a Neolithic monument. It is very, very important. It tells us a lot about Stone Age and Iron Age, Bronze Age culture. And our point is 3180 BC, which is, again, another important destination, both in time and in location, because this is where the settlement in Skara Brae, up in the Highlands, no, beyond the Highlands, up in the islands above Scotland. So we'll be doing a little bit of research into that and looking at the UK, Britain as a whole, and what life was like in the Stone Ages. So it's really interesting, and the children always do love finding out about cavemen and sort of challenging their ideas of cavemen from cartoons and from films and from TV, and what does it actually mean. Our English curriculum this year, we will be practicing our grammar skills through a range of exciting and relevant texts. We're going to be building up all of our grammar and punctuation. We are currently reading, as you can see here, Raymond Briggs' Boy Genius of the Stone Age. The children are currently loving it. Again, this ties into our history and geography topic. Yeah, as I said, the children really love it. Then we're moving on to Stone Age Boy, about a boy who goes back in time to the Stone Age. And then we're going to look at the history of the Earth with The Pebble in My Pocket. These are all really great stories. It provides lots of opportunity for the children to write some really exciting poems, stories, fact files. And yeah, I'm sure the children will absolutely love it. There is some great illustrations for all of these. Okay, science. Like I said, we're looking at rocks and soils. We're going to look at some fossils as well. We're going to be looking at what rocks and soils are made of, what they feel like, and we're going to do some scientific experiments that the children will be leading on. They'll be deciding sort of permeability, how waterproof and porous their rocks and soils are, as well as strength tests for rocks and toughness for rocks. Yeah, it should be really good. In PSHE, we're having a real focus on living in the wider world. What are our responsibilities? What are our rights? And how are they intertwined? Do we have innate natural rights? Do we have to fulfill sort of our end of the bargain and have certain responsibilities that come with these rights? And we're also going to look at the role of community and of work and jobs. So it should be really good. It should be really eye-opening for the kids. Okay, assemblies. We are no longer having in-person assemblies. We are going to, in the classroom, have rewards that would usually be happening through assemblies. So we have our badges. So children are still going to be earning school value badges. Mr. Taylor Graham will be coming round and giving those out. I will just very, very briefly, for those that aren't aware, touch on our school values. So we have to take responsibility. So the children, any children that have really shown quite a lot of enthusiasm and drive in their learning will be getting that. Be positive, just those that are showing a really good attitude to their work, being kind, so that's being a good friend, being kind to everyone in the school, whether they're teachers, children, cooperating, those that are working as good team players, showing respect, again, showing respect to people in the school, to their peers, to teachers, staff, people from outside the school, if we ever get the opportunity to have those in again, and try your best, those that have really produced some fantastic work. So one value badge is given out every 2 weeks, and the child will have to have really impressed in one of those categories. It is hoped by the time that they go off to high school that they will have all 6 value badges pinned to their jumper, and it'll be something that they can cherish forever. Okay, and I think we will leave it there actually. If there's anything that you need updating on in terms of what's happening with the school, we have got the school website, johnburnsprimary.co.uk. There is the Twitter that is updated regularly, JB Primary School. There, I would say download the mobile app, and we also send out lots of old-fashioned correspondence in the form of letters, newsletters, and I suppose you could say emails are kind of old-fashioned now. So yeah, if you've got any questions, you can get in contact with the school, contact them directly, and then they will get in contact with me and I will chase it up with you. So if you have got any questions or anything that you think, oh, I should have mentioned during this time, or if there's any questions that have come up or anything at all throughout the year, I would say get in contact with the school office. You can do that by email, or you can do that through the telephone. And as I said, I'll get back to you on that one. I am really looking forward to a fantastic year with the new year 3 class. From the last week and a bit, it has been really, really exciting. They are showing all the positive signs that you would hope for from a new school year. And I think that we are going to go from strength to strength. I think it's going to be really, really good. I am looking forward to putting some faces to names again on the other end, because with the current setup, I don't get to see you. I only get to see you from across the playground. So hopefully this will all blow over, or I'll get the opportunity to meet you and speak to you directly. But thank you for listening. I hope it's not been too long. And again, if you've got any questions, get in contact with the school. Let me see, how do I do this? There we go. Back to meeting control. Oh wait, yes. Here we go. So I will end it there, and thank you.